So down in the bottom left position, we have got the purple Terran player from ESC. He is the Panzer General. It is Goody. And his opponent up in the top right from Team Liquid. The blue Zerg, which lots of people are saying in the chat, has the potential to potentially take a podium finish at this DreamHack Summer event. It is Snute.
Alright guys, well, Snute I think is going to be quite comfortable with Neoplanet S. He'll be able to get his natural expansion quickly.
Yep.
Goody isn't particularly known for really fast early game aggression, so there's a chance that Snute can keep Goody occupied, maybe out near his natural expansion or just out and around the map in general, and try and use that as a smokescreen to take a third base. Indeed, we see Snute going for that hatchery immediately upon that 15th drone. In the meantime, we have Goody taking his barracks. Note that we are taking the gas once again, so it looks like it's going to be another Reaper opening from the Panzer General here.
And actually, this is another quite compatible map for Reapers.
It definitely is. I mean, there's a lot of cliff space here for those Reapers to jump up. Not quite as much, no, as you would expect, because Reapers can't actually go to this portion of the base. So while it actually is a little bit of an illusion, it looks like there's more cliff space than it is. And I'm not 100% sure about this bit, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah.
You can jump a Reaper up there, which is cool, because Reapers are just all like, yeah, I'm a Reaper. And they're really effective in Game 1, actually. I think that's fair to say. The Goody was probably one of the most successful Reaper openings I've seen against Zerg in a long time. He managed to pick off, I think it was 3, maybe 4 drones, good couple of Zerglings, and really just was a bit of a pain for Snute. So it's not something that's game-breaking. We do see that the scout did go off, knows that the barracks is there, and the Reaper is on his way across.
Going via the low ground, not wanting to use his jetpack just yet, does that Reaper, as Goody looks to be making his way across the map, immediately planting down a reactor as well on that barracks. So just the one Reaper this game, and he's going to be going into what might be, I don't know, faster production of Marines by the looks of things, because he only just put workers back on gas. He needed to get them back on minerals for a little bit so he can get his natural expansion up. The Overlord doesn't see this just yet, but will in a bit as the Reaper arrives in the main base.
Yeah, that Reaper going to start working his way through a couple of those Zerglings. Can kite them indefinitely with obviously combat drugs as well. He can be a little bit more aggressive should he want to. And yeah, as we see, a couple of Zerglings are taking damage. Unlike their drone brethren, they can't go and become a spore caller when they're about to die. And that just means that Goody, he can keep the harassment up. Snute straight away going up to 4 queens, which is a smart move. And the queens are going to be able to zone out these Reapers a lot better than they could on Star Station.
Now, it's worth noting that Goody's actually doing a lot less with this Reaper than he did with 2 in the previous game, but that's kind of to be expected here, to be perfectly honest. Combat drugs going to be healing that Reaper up in just a sec. How useful to have a few of those in your backpack, and the factory now is going down. Goody, predictably, because he took those workers off of gas a little bit early, is going to use this reactor for a couple of initial Marines, but he's got the factory on the way, and I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 buildings swapped places a little bit later on.
I think that would be a good guess. I'd put my money on that occurring. But we've also got from Snute, right, a nice little bit of creep spread. I wouldn't be surprised to see that full wall off again. Because it's nice on this map. It's a narrow entrance anyway, and if you put the 2 Evo chambers down, you can really defend nicely against those Hellions.
Yeah, that's a great
if they
point.
come in. And it's something that Goody is 9 times out of 10 going to do, but he's getting a starport. Okay, so
right,
this could be the drop play again.
It could be the drop play. We're getting a tech lab down on this factory as well. So we could be seeing some tank play. Of course, fans of Goody are looking forward to him playing World of Tanks in StarCraft 2, and indeed the tank production is about to start. The starport still going to take a little bit of time to complete, and we can see the Reaper trying to chip away at a creep tumor, but unable to do so because he does approximately the same damage as something that doesn't do a lot of damage. I don't know, as a puppy in a field of flowers.
A puppy in a field of flowers can do a lot of damage. You go find someone with a nice flower bed and put a puppy in it, and you see how happy they are.
That's actually a good point.
Terrible analogy. I'm sorry. That was.
We'll have to think of something else and come back to you later on that one. We have a couple of SCVs moving out now with a bunch of Marines and a tank. It looks like the first tank is going to be the timing for Goody to start moving out across the map here. He's going via the southern portion. The Queens from Snute are out and doing a great job of spreading this creep so that he has maximum exposure. to how long the army takes to get there. And he's going to need that as well, because this third base is so far away from ground by the second. You can see this here. It's a huge amount of distance.
Look at Goody go. Look at Goody go. Bunker going down. Tank going to siege up. Now, this base has got to cancel. Snute is not going to get that. He's got to cancel it. Cancel it, thank you. The bunker no longer needed. The drone does survive with 2 health. There he goes down the scan. The creep going to get forced back. The warlock is there, but this one tank is actually going to make this a much more difficult push to defend.
It really is. If the tank is going to siege up in a beautiful location as well, he's definitely going to get the evolution chamber there, if nothing else. The Reaper out front, he's feeling pretty gung-ho now with all of his buddies here as well. The tank needs to start thinking about inching forward too. Goody putting Snute under a lot of pressure early on in this game. Do we have a second tank on the way? Not quite. And Goody actually electing not to unsiege a tank on the grounds that he's going to try and draw the army out. He's successfully done that so far. Only Queens now left coming out from Snute, but is it going to be enough? A couple of transfuses go down. The number of Marines is starting to dwindle, and it looks like this is going to be pushed back, but only just.
Only just. And third base was a casualty of war. That is something that Snute won't be happy with, but he's making the right response. Double expand if you lose your third, because you need to make sure that you catch up economically. He's also held off that push from Goody, and that push was quite a commitment from the Terran player, actually. He's only got 2 tanks back at home. Third one just popping now. Really not got too much on the field.
See, I can't help but thinking, Metals, that Goody rallied his tanks out here and he sieged them up in preparation for a counterattack. But imagine, when the first tank sieged up here and the third base got cancelled, if the second tank was rallied out here as well, and he sieged a second tank up with the first, I actually think Goody would have been able to win that engagement. Or at the very least, Snute would have had to commit a lot more to holding that up. The fact that he only did that with a single tank
the scout,
makes
these
a big
Zerglings.
difference.
These Zerglings are so important. The Roaches do need to get away though, but this alerts Snute to what's coming. He's going to now just go into mass production mode. The important thing of the double expanding too is that if this third base at the south of his natural is forced to cancel, he's still got the top one.
Yeah.
And that's simple. If this was the only base and it was forced to cancel once more, and there was no backup, then Snute would probably lose the game.
And wow, SCD being particularly brave there. Is Snute going to attempt to defend this base? No, the hatchery is going to complete. And a Banshee coming out from Goody as well. So here we go. The tank line from the Panzer General has been established. The bunker is going to go down as well. This hatchery is almost guaranteed to be forked. I'm a little bit surprised it didn't get cancelled. But
he wants to buy time.
Yeah,
that's
the third
the
base
big
is up
thing.
and running.
Let that hatchery die.
Whoa! No, he doesn't want to buy time because he wants to finish this off right here, right now. A single Marine getting into the bunker there. That is not going to be nearly fast enough in terms of reaction time, and buying time he did.
And he keeps the hatchery.
And he's keeping the hatchery.
Which will probably die.
He has to deal with the Banshee, but that's the second time now that Goody's army has been destroyed.
That is a big loss. Snute is so far ahead in supply, and if the Queen, which is about to pop from the 4th base, does actually get out in time, he's going to be able to force back the Banshee. That hatch is going to survive. That is such a big win for Snute.
So close. 146 energy.
Transfuse it, Snute. Transfuse it all the way.
Yeah, we're going to need a couple of transfuses on this a little bit later on. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy to snipe. But more importantly, I feel like that hatchery is acting as a little bit of a smoke screen right now to this third base. It's actually up and mining here. If we take a quick look at the income, even with those mules, Goody is only just about keeping tabs on Snute at the moment, and he's going to mine out from both his main and his natural significantly faster thanks to those mules as well.
He does have his third CC on the way down, but Snute has an infestation pit, a bailing nest, and a spire all on the way too. So Snute, he's just getting himself all of the tech, and to be honest, he's going to get in a really nice spot. The mules especially are going to be great if Goody only gets, say, 1 or 2 Thors out.
Yeah.
If he commits more, then actually he should be fine, but double siege tank drop is going to be coming up towards this 4th base.
And that's not going to go very well against this many Zerglings that are popping out as well. And I think Goody knows that. He's going to turn around with that medevac, unable to make that work. But now he's a 2-base Terran versus a 4-base Zerg. This is going to be very, very difficult for him. He's moving out with some Thors in his army composition. That's going to be very, very important. Anticipating some potential Mutalist switch, and it is going to happen because 13 Mutas are about to pop out here for him as well. But Hellbats, tanks, and Thors, he might need a little bit more anti-air to deal with this super effectively. But I think he might be okay.
I think he might be okay too. I think he's going to pull through. It should be okay for the near future, but there's Mutalist coming out. A Contaminate.
Up.
That was... You don't see Contaminate enough, in my opinion.
No, you don't. It's actually a really, really useful skill to use, especially when your opponent is attempting to build the exact unit he wants against your army composition right now. A couple of Thors are here, and Goody is going to be able to get those out to try and face these Mutalist. A single Viking attempting to take on these Mutants right now. Tell you what, that's not going to be very good. And he's trying to pick off a couple of tanks now as well. But here comes the Thor. Great hit, but not killing any off just yet, and Snute retreats.
Snute does have his hive coming down though. He's also got those Mutalisks, and while there are the Thors down, there's not too many of them, so he can still go and harass with those Mutalisks very effectively. The first missile turrets of the ring of missile turrets are being formed in Goody's main, and also down at his third base. And actually, Goody's starting to stabilise a bit. Snute's got to secure these additional bases, and he is taking all of the map now. He's double expanding once more. But this is a large mech force, and Broodlords are the best solution to it.
Double expanding is actually really smart right now, because I think Snute knows that Goody's style is very much centered around sort of camping out, if you will, and waiting, just waiting until he has a comfortable, ideal mech composition to move out with. And a great solution to this is to simply take a lot of bases on the side of the map where your opponent isn't currently being engaged. We see Goody moving out across here. He has absolutely no clue that the top left is being taken right now. At least he's going to try and drop against this. Purple, a little bit difficult to see on creep, but these queens will more than be fine. And Muta's effect coming back as well. So this drop getting annihilated as Goody has now decided it's time to move out. Has he got enough anti-air?
Well, he's got a couple of Thors, but he's got to be so careful with them. The Corruptor's already coming out. The Greater Spire is getting close to being done. The Spine Crawlers all sitting in a lovely, nice wall up. This is buying Snute time. And look at this. He's actually sending all of his units around to go for a bit of a counter-attack here. This is a lot of Speedlings on their way in. Some Hellbats are there. But can Snute hold off the main assault?
And here we go. We see the Mutas are now coming in. The Thors are attempting to target them down, and they're doing a decent job so far, but the Muta count is actually quite high. 4 Thors have become 3. 3 are about to become 2. And yes, the Muta count is dwindling, but once this Thor dies, and the last one over here, whatever Mutas remain are just going to have absolute free reign on everything that's here, and that's very concerning. The last Thor is about to die, sending some links in to hurry that along, and now all of these Hellbats, tanks, and the Banshee are basically sitting ducks.
And that was for what? A handful of Mutalisks and a hatchery. Already Snute has got both the diagonal hatcheries in the very corner, so he's getting all the bases, and this counter-attack has actually done quite a nice amount. He's picking off many a worker. He's also getting a good number more Mutalisks in the competition, knowing that the Thor count is significantly lower. So this is all looking really nice. He's just running around. To be honest, Snute, he's got a big advantage here, as long as he doesn't make a big mistake.
Yeah, I think Snute's overall game plan against Goody has just been flawless this game. Sit back, defend where Goody is attacking, expand where Goody is not attacking, has simply been his mantra both last game and this one. And so far, it's worked out very well. It's even bought him enough time to come out with the tech, and the Broodlords are now popping by. How much anti-air is there here? Well, there are 4 Vikings being made at a time as well as a Thor, but look at this ground army. It's not going to be enough. GG.
No, that was just spectacular.